It's now time to get into the client process from start to finish. Over the next many videos, we're going to be referring to a flow chart that highlights all the different stages of this process when it comes to working with a client. We're going to take this in chunks. We're going to digest various components here. And we're going to start with the buy side, and then we're going to shift to the listing side. Now again, we can definitely give you some good tips and tricks, some things to be aware of, and this good flow, this process to make sure you're providing some excellent service to your clients to the best of your ability. So this first part of the flow chart, this red or pink kind of color, this reddish pink, whatever you want to call it, this is the pre-phase before someone's committed to being a client. What are the steps, the phases we can understand, articulate, and be prepared to crush? So let's look to this thing. Let's look at this flow chart. And let's acknowledge that this journey does start with either you getting this as a company lead, depending on how your company is organized. Maybe this is an option, maybe not. Or at the bare minimum, all of your lead gen efforts have led to you meeting someone, and you have had the opportunity to set an appointment with them. Now, what is an appointment? What do I mean when I say that? An appointment is an official real estate focused interaction. You're going to meet with them about real estate. Now, what that actually looks like, we're going to get to, as you can see, a few steps down in this flow chart. But right now, you have gotten an appointment set. So what's the most important thing once an appointment is set? Someone's agreed to this real estate interaction. Well, this is something you're going to want to do. You're going to want to have a conversation to have a better idea of what to expect for that real estate appointment. We're going to call this the phone introduction or text introduction. If you can get on the phone voice to voice, that's a slam dunk, but in this day and age, a lot of people prefer text, so that's okay too. As you reach out to this person, you're going to have some goals, some things you want to make sure you cover. You're going to obviously want to introduce yourself if applicable, if it's a company lead, right? Or if it's a referral from someone else and you've yet to interact with them directly. You want to introduce yourself, of course. That's a no-brainer. And then you're going to want to confirm the time and date for this appointment. Now, all of these are common sense, right? Now, this next one is going to be important. Sure, you've broken the ice to introduce yourself, you've confirmed the date and time, but now you're going to try and search for some motivation in these precious moments you're communicating with them. You're going to search for motivation. This is by asking a few different questions. Is there anything I can find out for you? Is there anything that's important to you? Is there any reason that you're looking right now? Hey, just curious, what's got you searching right now for a property? Anything I should know to be able to help you out? Can you find out their motivation to better understand where they're at? Some are forthcoming with this, some are not so much. Some share a surface motivation, maybe there's something deeper. But can you just ask, oh, and by the way, this is super exciting, what's got you looking? What are you looking for and why does that matter to you? If you can find out anything right there on the introduction call, well, that can help you prepare for the actual interaction when you meet for the appointment, and that can help you get prepped to be able to crush it based on what their motivation is or any inkling of a motivation. So you try to get some motivation out of them, and then you also try to search for an opportunity for value. So this is again saying, is there anything I can find out for you about, let's say it's a go show sort of appointment. Is there anything I can find out for you about the property? Maybe it's a sit down or go show. Is there anything about the process you're uncertain of? Have you bought before? What could I bring to the table to answer any questions you might have now? If this house isn't the right fit, is this house the right criteria for me to go look for comparable properties to bring to you when we meet? Those are just a few examples of things you can ask them to try and show some value. Finding out information about the particular property if it's a go show, being prepared to answer any questions they have about the process if it's either or, saying is there anything else I could find out about similar properties if it's a go show. And then another great one is asking if they have a lender and have gotten pre-approved yet. Here's a crucial transition piece that we should try to make happen. This doesn't happen every time, but something we should aspire to is to encourage people to meet with a lender before this appointment occurs. Can you encourage them and offer the value of connecting them with a lender before you go and show them a house or sit down to talk about the process? They might push back on this and say, I don't know why we need to do that before we would see the house or sit down and talk about the process. So what's your justification for this? Well, a few good tips for what we can say. It's good for us to be organized and on top of it. We want to impress any other realtors by getting this information to them right away, whereas other realtors might drag their feet or take their time to get the pre-approval to the other party. Let's impress them by how put together we are and on point we are. So let's just have that done ahead of time. Okay, that one's more, sounds like it's nice for you as the realtor. So what's another reason? Well, let's have a financial understanding for you, the purchaser. Let's make sure that you sit down with a lender and you understand what your monthly payments look like for a property like the one you want to see or for the figurative thing you're looking for. Let's give you the monthly payments and let's make sure you digest that to say, am I or am I not okay with that? Let's make sure we give you information so you're comfortable with what you're looking for. Let's make sure you know what your threshold is before getting you into a house that does not match that threshold. You fall in love with a house only to find out that it does not make sense for you financially. That is devastating. Let's give you the information before we start the search. And then lastly, another point is similar to being put together, let's be able to act quick. Let's say the very first house we get you into is the perfect house and you want to pursue it. Well, depending on the market, it could take you some time to get that pre-approval scheduled and taken care of. What if someone else gets an offer in there and snatches it right out from under us? That would be so frustrating. Again, let's have that pre-approval taken care of, ready to roll the second we need it. If you can get this set up and have pre-approved people sitting down to meet with you at the appointment, more power to you. So, we've done the introduction. We've learned a little bit about them. We've tried to learn some motivation. We've tried to show value. We've offered the pre-approval. Maybe it has happened. Maybe it doesn't happen yet. Maybe it's going to happen later. Now, the day of, you should reach out and do a day of confirmation call or text. A lot changes, and let's try to make sure we do our best to remind people so they don't forget to show up. Let's do what we can to make sure people are on point. Let's make sure that we're not going to waste our time. A day of text or phone call to confirm the appointment, and also inquire about the pre-approval. Hey, did you find out anything more about the pre-approval? Now there they might say, no, I haven't had the meeting yet. Okay, that's fine. They might say, yes, we actually got pre-approved. Great, bring that to our appointment. That'll be so crucial as part of this process. Or maybe again they say, no, I actually got to meet with a lender and find out we can't get pre-approved. Wow, that's valuable to find out. Before you have an entire meeting with them about something they can't do right now, you find out they can't get pre-approved. Does that mean you just cut them loose? No, that means, oh my gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry it doesn't work out right now. Did the lender give you some tips on what you can do to get pre-approved down the road? They say yes, excellent. If not, you should go on a mission to find a lender who's someone who cares about being an educator. Find a lender that you have a relationship with who loves to educate people. And here's another chance to offer value to this person is, hey, let me have you meet with a different lender. Someone who will happily educate you on what you can do to fix your credit faster. Because oftentimes that's the issue, is their credit score damaged their ability to get pre-approved. There are lenders out there who can coach them based on their situation on things they could focus in on to improve their credit faster and get pre-approved sooner. What an excellent value add. So if someone doesn't get pre-approved, it's not a, okay, sorry, maybe we'll talk later, maybe we won't. Offer them that value piece and continue to make it a point to have a plan to stay in touch with them on a regular basis. Once you've linked them up with that lender, follow up and say, hey, did you learn anything valuable? That is awesome. What kind of trajectory do you think you'd be able to do based on what the lender told you? That is great. Well, I'd love to stay in touch and see how you're doing, and maybe keep talking about this process bit by bit as you work towards getting that figured out. Show you care, that you just don't care about a walking dollar sign. Show you care about them as people as they're figuring this out. And man, the loyalty they're going to have to you is going to translate through the value you continue to give them, even though they're not pre-approved now. Great opportunities so many of us pass by because we're off after the shiny object that could work out sooner. So, that confirmation day appointment helps us understand a little bit more about where they're at. Ideally, they say, yes, this will work. Great, you have an actual appointment of some sort happening. You find out it doesn't work, you reschedule. If they say this won't work for us for the time being, you seek to find out why, and you go again and set up some sort of communication plan to try and keep showing value even if the appointment cancels. But again, let's pretend the appointment has confirmed, and in the next video, we're going to talk about what that looks like. We're going to look at the concept of a consult, where you sit down and have a conversation with someone, and the concept of the go show, where you try to show value by meeting someone at a house you're going to show them. Looking forward to it, and we'll see you soon.